Are you tired of not getting your way? Are you tired of just living your life and having nothing end up going the way you wanted to? You need to become ungovernable. Stop worrying about what everybody else thinks. Stop living under everybody else's control. Live your own life. Live one step at a time, but make sure everything is your own decisions, your own choices. Becoming ungovernable isn't going wild, being crazy, committing crimes. I'm going to go set this building on fire. No, that's not being ungovernable. Truly being ungovernable is living your life with no social pressures, no worries about what everybody else is thinking or doing, how what you're going to do is going to impact somebody else. That is being ungovernable. Now, obviously, I need to get this out there before I go too far within this topic. Being ungovernable has its limits, and you need to remember that. Obviously, if you want to be a well-rounded person, you want to be a good person, you want to evolve. Any of these things, you can't just be ungovernable. You need to also have your traits and your empathy, and it needs to all coalesce together so you can be one great person. But without the ability to be ungovernable, to do what you want, and then also to be a good person, you're never going to level up. You're never going to reach that next stage. You're always going to just be you. And hey, being you is never a problem, right? You want to be your own self. But if you're here, you're looking to level up, you're looking to keep pushing to be a better you. So how do we do that? Well, first step, if you're here, be ungovernable. What are you doing? Why are you letting other people control your decisions, control your actions? Now, controlling is a pretty broad term, and it can sound like somebody is micromanaging. Oh, like, you can't do what you get. It's not always direct control which impacts us in life. A lot of times it's subconscious control, things that people have put on us. So let's take our parents, for example. Subconscious control has been implemented by parenting for years and years and years. Oftentimes it's important and can be just make life a little bit easier when you're trying to parent those crazy children. But sometimes also those subconscious pressures that our parents have put on us from kids, they don't leave us as adults, and we don't always understand why we might think a certain way when it was really just a parenting tactic that we kind of adapted to and took on throughout our whole lives. Sometimes we're scared to share our opinions, scared to say what we think, or we let other people speak for just a little bit too long. Maybe that's just because we had that experience with our parents. We had to let them keep going on, or else, might not have gone our way. Eventually, these things don't really benefit us in life, and if we continue to let people talk over us or live a certain way as we did when we were kids without realizing why we have those traits, well, we're going to be husks of a human where we just let everybody else do what they want. Oh, okay, yes sir, yes ma'am. Now I'm gonna bleep all of that, but F that, guys. What the heck? You're supposed to be ungovernable. You're supposed to live your own life. And if you've got these subconscious things controlling you from your childhood, you're not going to be able to live your own life. All right. So how do you go back and identify these past childhood issues? That's a hard one. And yeah, I'm not going to pretend like it's super easy. People pay hundreds and thousands of dollars sometimes to go to therapy for years and months just so they can discover these issues and go over them. It's easier for some people than it is others. Me being the person that I'm able to just kind of look back into the past and self-analyze those things and realize my own faults and the faults of others. But oftentimes it can be very difficult for people, and they'll even shut that part of their brains off, like try not to remember any of those details or just give themselves a false story in order to live happier. So unlocking that section of our brains to analyze the information and actually figure out what went wrong, that can be the hardest part sometimes. So I know I've kind of dissed on this a little bit in the past, but being still with yourself, meditating, sitting in silence, these are all tools in which we can utilize to unlock parts of our past which we have suppressed. It sucks. It really, really does. Sitting with yourself, meditating, doing nothing. I've talked about this before. It feels like you're wasting your life away. It's eating away at you. It's terrible. It sucks. But it is necessary. There is stages in all of our lives. We're not in the same stage altogether. Hate to say it, but some of us are in different, parts of life than others. I'm not going to say you're farther ahead. You probably are, but let's be real here. We need to identify what stage of our lives we're at and work from there. Obviously, we want the end goal. We want happiness. We want peace. We want to just be able to understand what we're going through. But to get to that, you need to go through the steps. So you need to sit with yourself, sometimes for days, weeks at a time. Analyze your past, what you're going through at the current moment, and truly try and figure out where the problems stem from. So, once you've completed that step, or even if you're in the middle of it, take a deep breath and at least realize that you have begun the process. You're not living your life anymore, just pushing through, dealing with the emotions that you have. You've started the process of trying to actually analyze each and every emotion that you have, all the feelings that you go through in your day, and find the benefit within them. Find the ones that aren't beneficial. It's a long, hard process, but once you start it, at least you can say you have, and go from there. So now once you've started to figure out which traits and parts of your life are affecting you negatively and really aren't adding benefit to your life, aren't allowing you to be more productive, aren't allowing you to learn more. So once you've identified those things, how do you cut them out? How do you move on to something else? Well, that's also incredibly hard, especially it's a part of you, a way you react to certain situations every single day, or just a way you think. Let's go back to the 1% mindset. Yeah, I know. Atomic Habits or self-help books. Oh, that's stupid. Whatever, you're watching a fucking self-help video on YouTube. Not to call you out too much, but grow up a little bit. There should really be no criticism here. Open minds, open hearts. You're looking to learn, so stop pretending like you're above it. You're looking to get 1% better every single day. Hey, if you can get 2% better, you just crushed it. 3%, oh my goodness, but 1% better every single day. So take this in the way that you look at your mindsets. When you are just battling through and you don't know how to change the way that you're living, it just feels impossible. Remember that 1% mindset. How can you shift your mindset today in order to be 1% better tomorrow? What way of thinking is going to help you change that, achieve that? This isn't something that I'm able to fully articulate, unfortunately, because the path and the process is going to be different for each and every one of us. If we all have one answer, well, it would be so much easier. But unfortunately, it's a different answer and a different path for all of us. I can only give you the right directions, and hopefully it leads you to the final destination. I had to cut the video there. My chicken was absolutely going ballistic. Decided to just be ungovernable within this moment. What can you do? So, back to being ungovernable. To master this, you need to, 1, master your mind, and then 2, master your body. So we talked a little bit about mastering your mind, needing to forget what everybody else is thinking and doing and just live for yourself. And in doing that, in the ability to realize the things within our mind that are holding us back, it takes a lot of self-evaluation and mental fortitude. And speaking of mental fortitude, that also comes with some physical fortitude. We need to be physically strong in order to also help ourselves in this way. I know it's said the meek will inherit the earth. However, sometimes that also will affect your mindset, and especially in today's social media controlled world where we see these fitness influencers all over just being ripped and I am a huge proprietor of healthy living and being active. I'm not here to tell you that you need to be some juice head and absolutely ripped. But if you aren't physically capable, strong, able to really just do the bare minimum, like even myself, I don't feel like I am incredibly strong or fit. I definitely am by today's standards, but like I should be able to do more. As a young man or a young woman, you need to be able to survive, to carry yourself. If this wasn't the 21st century where we had all facets of life just given to us and easily available, would you be able to fight for it? Would you be able to get it yourself? Probably not. Probably not. And that's going to affect your mental health and your mindset so greatly, and you're going to have no idea, I promise you. This is one of the greatest subconscious contributors to our mindset. Just being weak, being unable to protect yourself. This adds to a subconscious emotion that we feel that it makes us feel inferior to the people around us, makes us feel fear and worry. Oh, well, my opinion isn't going to be taken as seriously, or of course I need to view their opinion more higher. They're larger, they're stronger, they could physically overpower me. And a lot of people, I'm sure they're thinking, what are you talking about? I don't think like that. These are natural compasses which are in our DNA since our ancestors. When you saw somebody back in the day and they were just so much physically stronger than you, they could just rip your head off your shoulders, of course you were going to be nice to them. You were going to listen to their opinions because you didn't want to fucking die, right? It's just as simple as that. And those things, they don't just disappear from our DNA. They follow us and they become more subconsciously hidden within our minds, and then eventually we don't even realize we're thinking that way, but it's still taking over our entire mindsets. So be strong, be capable, and you're going to be surprised with how much that alleviates your mindset, allows you to just live yourself, not worry about other people, but you're just doing you. You're nice and strong, you're buff, doesn't matter what other people think, I'm gonna just boom, boom. I'm telling you guys, it sounds crazy if you haven't experienced it or you haven't studied about this at all, but it is all completely true. I'm going to have to do some little more accurate scientific research so I can throw some facts at you guys and just, really hammer it home. But this is all real, I promise you. Once you master your mind and your body, you are the master of your own life. So it's important to do both of these at the same time, because once you've just mastered one part, it's going to be pretty hard to just go start on the other. It's just easier when you're doing both. Like, your body is trying to be active all the time. You need to release that energy. I think it's like the cortisol is the stress hormone, and that builds up after a little while. And if you do not release that, you aren't physically active, that just builds up within you and you become more stressed, more anxious. It's not good. There's actually a lot of genuine scientific fact behind this. You need to use your body. You need to be active. It's going to help you be more calm, make more thoughtful decisions. It also just leads to a happier life. So, go to the gym, be active, and even just get out for a walk. And it doesn't always have to just be exercise for the sake of exercise. Go outside, do some work, rake some leaves. You can be productive while also being active. And then, you're just going to notice, while you do this, your body, it becomes like you're going to get sore and stuff, and you're going to be like, oh my God, I'm sore. But that actually starts working your mind a little bit more, working your body. Your body's not just sitting there stagnant. You're using it, and you're going to get so much farther in life. You're going to have the availability to push yourself harder, think harder. It's actually amazing what you can achieve when you push yourself. You might not be able to really push yourself to many mental barriers. Like, you can't just physically keep pushing and pushing on those hard subjects that you don't want to think about. But I'm telling you, once you go and you've got to push weight that you're going to feel tomorrow, it's going to hurt to close your hand at work. Once you can get over those physical pains, the mental pains start to become a little bit easier. Especially, God, I used to be a big runner. really bad on your ankles and like joints. Honestly, running, it's amazing, super fun. Terrible for your body. Don't do it, guys. Go for a jog, go for a bike ride. Running is not good for you. Okay, no, but seriously, I used to be a runner, and it's like, it sucks. You know, you're like 5 kilometers in, say you're going for a 10K, even more. I used to run 40 fucking kilometers, guys. 40 kilometers. You get to the 23 kilometers in, and you're like, yeah, like, why don't I stop? Why don't I just stop here? Why would you? Keep going. Keep going as hard as you can. Keep going as long as you can. But I'm telling you, once you get to that point, it just feels like you should stop. It feels, you have this voice in your head telling you, just stop. You've done enough. You've done enough. Just stop. But if you can learn to just keep pushing through that voice, ignore it, pretend like that's the devil sitting on your shoulder telling you, oh, you just give up. You're going to go so far. You're going to realize the little angel on your shoulder telling you, oh, hey, just keep pushing. Just keep pushing. It's always going to be there. And if you can just listen to it, you're never going to stop. You're going to keep going until you physically or mentally can't. And then you're just going to keep pushing that barrier farther and farther as you train and you get better. And then really, once you've reached that point, once you've strengthened yourself mentally, physically, and you are in the mindset of continuing going, you're not stopping, there's nothing you can't do. There's nothing you can't achieve. You have become ungovernable. Congratulations. You did it. You can live your own life. You can do whatever you want, and no one is going to stop you. They can try, but I guarantee they won't. That is all there is to it, guys. Live ungovernably, if that's a word. Live happily. Just put effort into all facets of your life. And don't forget, there is always more to learn, more to gain, more to achieve. Do not stop where you are, because I'm telling you, that's not going to lead you very far. What a little rhyme. Have a great day, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. However you may have enjoyed today's content, make sure to subscribe. Like 97.8% of you guys are not subscribed. I'm not going to take it personally, but hey, I could really use the boost. So make sure you click that button. I'd love that. And enjoy the rest of your days. Take care.